Testing. Where's voice meter? Hello? Testing. Oh. Testing. Oh, wow. Why both my mic and... Why is that happening? That's wild. Okay. Hi, Tinguish. Yeah, there's a big delay. And the thing is, it's on my mic. Hi, Jake. I don't know what to do with that. So yeah, I have a huge delay on both the mic and the processed output. So it's the delay is coming from the mic. Hi, Jonathan. Is the delay any better? I can't really test it. Let me do a recording thing. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me... Okay. Testing. I don't know if I can even do this live. Testing? Testing 1, 2, 3, testing. Okay, I need to figure out exactly how far this is. So I need to go to 0 here. I need to record. And I don't know if this gets fixed live. I have never had this much delay from the mic itself. And then I want to be able to measure this. Really annoying. Yes, chat has been on screen for a while. I have a system for that. Okay. So if I go on here, I don't know what the frame rate is. Okay. Now, there's the audio of the snap. Okay. And then that is at 5 seconds, 6 frames. That's 6. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a second, a whole second. And what? Are you kidding me? What's the maximum? Okay. What? What? Okay. Let's see. So OBS is incredibly weird about this. Okay. How is the delay sounding on stream? Am I good? So that's a thing. I can't figure out how to change those settings. Jake, I'm trying to figure out. So, okay, that's good. That's so. So just to get your idea of why I was so confused, OBS has some sort of of it has a built-in offset for audio, right? The maximum for that is like 950. And I don't know why they would choose that number. So if I have a full second of delay, I can't correct a full second of delay. But I don't know why the delay is that much. Again, it is coming from the mic. It's not coming from my post-processing programs. So, like, I have never had my mic be that delayed. Okay. So, let's jump to that. Can you read the chat better on screen? I that's another piece I need to figure out. In Microsoft, it could be in Microsoft. There's a lot of things that I need to figure out. I also don't know why my screen is gray on the video, and I don't know Dreamer.bot change chat background. Wait, where is chat? Okay. If you guys talk a little bit, I want to check something. Okay. Oh, I was just checking if this setting would work, but I guess it's not. Hopefully you guys can read a little bit. I can also What? There we go. Okay. Does that make chat easier to see? Just do that for now. Then I think I need a new version of StreamerBot for that. Okay. Now. We could only figure out why all this stuff appears gray. Then I would be very. So. Last time we just went out and we were talking about morphological changes to. Yes. But you never know. I put the chat on screen to preserve it in case I ever have to go back and edit this. Okay. The chat is actually much wider than I thought it was. It goes all the way to the end of the screen. I think I need to change the dimensions of this thing. Make that a square. There we go. I put it there to preserve the chat because if I edit this for any reason, then that sidebar goes away. So I have always tried to put the chat on screen. Because I get faster internet that way. Did you hear her? So, context. Every Saturday before I do this to set up, I run a 50-foot Ethernet cable from my bedroom over to this computer. Just to make sure connections are as stable as possible. And so Dorothy was very confused. Okay, so the question we had I want to run it across the ceiling, but Lee's like, it's just once a week. It's not a big deal. It would be easier for me every week, but... So, I think I meant to do a patron poll, but I didn't know exactly how to do it because it is a little bit like it's a little bit funky trying to get the got to teach the kids about cable management. Yeah, I'm not doing well at cable management. It's a little bit of the question here is like, do I do I want to I think the oblique is going to become accusative in at least some of these languages. But I'm questioning whether we want to do the locative for some of them. We could have both oblique and locative function as prepositional cases too. That's an option. So let's Sasha, Saya, Sashichu, Sajichu, right? I want to, just to give us a little more information, I want to also run this with a something that ends with a consonant. So I want the constant root test. And if I grab all of these, actually, I want to grab all of these and run the sound changes to middle fay again. So that's what I need to do. Is there anything sensitive there? Okay. What did I do here? Oh, okay. Yeah, so what I had was I have all the classes here. Okay, so I need to do all classes. And I need to different depend on the verb. Is that do you have an any-do on that? Let's clear this filter. I want to use man because I don't think man will change much. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I had to actually define it as a character, Jonathan. I had to define it as a symbol within Lexergy, but I used that to separate the class suffixes out, because the class suffixes, the way I have it working out, is they come a little bit later, and I want some of the sound changes not to apply at that boundary. So that's why I have that as a dummy. It doesn't really have much effect as it is, but I'm keeping it because I think there's some cases where it turns out a little bit different if I have like this like fake sound in between. Sometimes it affects how the blends work. That's interesting, Tinkwish. And it could be something that I could do with dialect variation. The thing is, I want most locative meanings to be replaced by prepositions. I suppose. Oh, why is there an error? What? Let me look at my, is everybody going to have that error? Okay, this is something happening to everybody. This is wild. Okay, so let's look at our syllable definitions. So I see. So I think let's see. If we have if we do this, will that help? Okay. Okay. I need to go to the final constant deletion. Oh, okay. That doesn't get deleted here. Okay. So And for this one, okay, so I need to just explicitly state two constants, right? Why is it still not doing it? I don't know. There might be a way to mark that on syllables, Tinglish. Let's see, where exactly is this happening? It happens after unstressed deletion. Then we have the resyllabification after. Oh, okay. That's why. Okay, so let's just redeclare after that. Oh, okay. Okay, much. Much. I thought I fixed this. Did I not save that change? Okay, let me debug this. This should not be happening. Okay, nasalized fricatives should just become fricatives. Okay. So I had that right after this. What do you mean it's defined more than once? Then why is it not applying? I mean, I don't. The parallelized consonants should be fine. Um, oh, does this need to come later or what? Let me figure this out. Let's just put this at the end and see what happens. What the heck? No, it's not doing anything. So why? So this works fine here, but for some reason it's not working. What is the deal? Ma, ma, yeah, it is actually denasalizing things. So why is it not applying here? It's just not applying. That's why. Something about the lenition rule? Okay, if I build it into the lenition rule, then it goes fine. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I still have no idea why that's happening. Takes a while, huh? Yeah, okay. You should be good. Okay, so we're going to go here, and then we're going to get all of these charts. Hey, where did it... Okay. Okay, one more change I wanted to make, actually. And I think this is the language to do it, is... Is there a way that I define... Is it sonorants? Yeah, all of these are sonorant. Yeah. Let's try... And does this do what I want? Oh, no. It needs to be and plus GT. Sonorant should be non-nasal too. No, I kind of want to do make all the sonorants change. And then I need to make sure that je is in my consonant list. Don't know why it wasn't. Is it still not doing it? Oh, retroflex affrication. There's no reason why you wouldn't split that there. Okay, so we're good. Okay. Why did I do it here? Wait, what? I did all of that. And that was the wrong one to do it in. I meant to do it in dusk. Why was I not in dusk? What? X. Okay, so it's fine. Okay, export this. Wait, what? Okay, come on. I don't know why that's a va. Oh, it's because bath. Okay, yeah, that's right. So basically, what I'm saying is, now, do we have any mergers happening here? Manji, my, hu. Oh gosh. That seems like it should not happen. My hu. I'm not going to worry about fixing that. I'll fix that later. It's interesting. Malval mala. My 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 manji. Seems like manj. Wait, this should be in. Should be under dawn. Yeah. Now there's some interesting clusters emerging here that I need to work out. Like what exactly happens there. It'll be dusk. Mash, madi, mashihu, madihu, masha, ma, masha. I don't know why that's being nasalized. Cha. I have to figure out that one. Manj, ma, yeah. Then we go to the night dialect. Monsieur, Mathieu, Mathieu. Okay. Madava. Yeah. Mathieu, Monsieur. Okay. I do need to figure out like how to make these codas appear in the right place. But otherwise, I think we've got a decent situation to work with. For reference, okay, so we're an hour in, and I still am like playing with sound changes again. I need to go ahead and export all of these, and then I will maybe work on refining things off camera because there's a few situations did I do all 5 of those? I think so. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Okay, I think I've got all of that. So, the question of different verbs taking different accusatives. Let's think about that. Is there such a thing as like a locative accusative? So we go like, let's see. Why does that disappear? Um, okay. Let's see. I need to think about the thing that I would ask is like, could the accusative Um, thinking about it. Thinking about it. Here's the thing. Um, wait a minute. Okay. I think I have an idea. This is why? What? Okay. This is another way to like have a secondary stealth, like a secondary classification of nouns without really having having a classification for nouns. So this is what I thought is this happens based on animacy. The oblique becomes the accusative for higher animacy nouns, and we can put the cutoff in different places. I think actually I will put the cutoff like around like plants. Maybe some of the more active plants still get the oblique, but the like carnivorous plants and such, but then other ones get the locative. It it will end up not entirely matching with the noun classes. And we can even make us doing this way means that we can per dialect vary individual words. And so like one word may have gotten the oblique oblique in the night dialect, but gotten the locative in the day dialect, for example, right? Maybe I think night will have an association with death and decay, and so maybe A lot of your decomposers got the oblique sourced accusative, whereas in like day and dawn, they got the locative because they are considered lower animacy, mainly like bugs and stuff, right? Would end up with that. Right. Yes. So yeah, like inanimates can't move out of the way of the action. That's an interesting thing. So this is this is a way for me to end up going like per, and I can also sometimes like work it out based on which one it works out. Okay, I think this is good. The other thing I want to think about is, do our classes collapse at all? And as I am seeing it, the way that our classes are working out, we're going to have different declensions, but I'm not seeing phonological collapses. That doesn't mean that categories couldn't collapse, but in the absence of a phonological collapse, I'm kind of feeling that they are going to remain in place. Just because like this way of seeing the world is gonna be kind of stable. There's theoretically possibilities if I added in more vowel changes that we could lose some categories. It's not going to be like super long in between. I think it's going to be much more likely that we get new classifiers or lose some of the possessive classifiers, because those are much more malleable than noun classes. But like, okay, maybe these are getting close, like the class 1 and class 3. But all at the same time, only in the singular, and actually they're not that close because the stress is different. This is manji versus manj. This is manji versus manj, right? Manj. This is, what's this? Thash versus thai, right? Mans versus manj. Yeah. There's actually, this is interesting. There's stress shifts that are indicating class differences, right? That's interesting. So I think it's enough to have the accusative come from different places. These dialects do develop alongside each other, right? They are influencing each other. And so we can have them do some of the same things. And also, the night dialect being so conservative may put a weight on other dialects and prevent like the classes from shifting. I don't know if it's realistic for this large of a class system to remain stable for long. Um, People who are familiar with like when you have like five, we have five different classes. Um, are there families where that remains stable for a while? Because like the thing is like even like a three-way distinction can lose things often. So like Latin had a neuter, and most of the Romance languages lost the neuter, right? Um, but that's over a period of like 2,000 years. Um, I don't know exactly when the neuter was lost, but probably, you know, probably happened like probably like a period of 1,000 years, because it's probably about 1,000 years ago that it lost. I don't know what Vulgar Latin was. So I think I'm going to do this. And like to your point, Tinguish, to your earlier point, I think this will be easier for me than doing it with verb classes. Um, how do I change the? How do I change the color? What's this? What is going on here? Okay, yeah. Um, I want to highlight. Yeah. So this is going to be a process. So let's do a couple of our example nouns and see what happens in the different dialects. So first of all, the first one I would do is um, let's open up the Sylvan one. Let's go IPEA. Right. IPEA. Actually, I think I already have that in. Do I have that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. IPEA. Okay. I need to actually. Yeah. Let's actually really take care of that. Let's make sure that we have like all of our proper marking for that one. Oh. Okay. If eek. Let's and if that's right. That's that's fine. I can do that by hand. Fe and we will now let's take this. Well, let's take this one and do the sound changes in each of the dialects. So, so if we but this one, every dialect is going to have. So okay, so that is the right. And if we go, so okay, and we're just gonna have vieilli, vieillot, vieilli, vieillot, vieillieu, vieillieu per day. And then that's that one. There's nothing more animate to the Fae than Fae, right? So we're just going to wait, did I accidentally? Okay, let me make sure. No, that is interesting. And then we get the dusk. Wait, what? This is, oh, okay. Let me make sure that I'm pasting things correctly. Sorry. Okay. And then dawn is this one. Interesting that I have this happening with this. We go to dusk is like that. And then night. This. And I realized a while ago, go away. I realized, by the way, that, oh gosh, that's not. Where was I? Okay. That, these dialects that delete the first vowel, these ones, this one doesn't have it. This ends up being very close to the word fey. So you can do with that what you will. So it's fee, but the thing is, like, these twilight dialects will be dominant, right? And they have fei, and vieilli and vieilli. Now, whether those still mean fey generically or they mean different things, or maybe if we take the night dialect just because it's more um, uh, because it's like more conservative and they call themselves Ifeik all the time. That's not it. Export. Ifei. Ifei is what it is. It's not. I got the wrong thing copied. All right. Ifei. Ifefeu. Ifefo. Ifefo. Ifei. 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 So. Ifei. Fai. Fai. I think it would probably will not take that. I think we're going to take some other things from night. But let's talk about other ones. Let's talk about one that might be a little bit on the edge. Let me actually look up what these mean in Middle Sylvan, I guess. Oh, Bukwasi, Dethi, what's that? Dwa, Adajik, Fear. Okay, fear. Okay, that's a little bit a puss. Loach, Ngakwa. Okay, I don't really have anything. Oh, here's one. Body. Okay. Yeah, let's go with wood. Oh, that's a little bit. So there's some complications with this, but I'm going to act like this is just for the sake of this demonstration. I'm gonna have to like work out exactly how the forms work out because it's gonna be full of like analogies for this one. But for now, we can just like act like it went through the same sound changes even though it didn't really. And when we talk about and this one we can do like depending on the meaning. So let's say the night in the night, this word for body mainly became the word for corpse. And that means that it takes the locative because it's like inanimate. Even though technically this is a class 2 herbivore, but it became sort of a less animate in their minds. Meanwhile, maybe in other dialects it retained this idea of a living body. Maybe in some of them it maybe like here we got like both meanings so that you get two different paradigms, right? And maybe in the day dialect it mainly remains a living body, and they reason that it because it's herbivore class it can't refer to a corpse, so they keep it that way. That's just an example of what things I could do here. Yeah, I like this idea. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Um, so I think I'm pretty strong on what I'm going to do vaje versus vaja, right? Wafu, wafre. And just so you guys know, like, I'm actually eyeing how coinization works. And one thing I'm going to do is, because you have some dialects that are merging W and V and some that are not, we're gonna end up with a lot of like WV confusion, right? And just general like glide fricative confusion. So that you just end up like with free variation depending on which dialect they have. There'll be hypercorrection going on sometimes, that kind of thing. It's really, really common, specifically for W and V to alternate in languages. I think that's all that I really want to do of this on camera, because this is going to be a fiddly thing of where once I get down to the final language, Tinglish, honestly, I don't know. I think there is often something that's like dominant, like one dialect that's dominant, and that has an effect. But I am not sure. It's probably like variable depending on where you go. I have some literature I'm going to be reading on Koinese before I get to like the Koinization step. I will say I'm taking an artistic approach to these languages. I may not develop the Koine in a totally naturalistic fashion. One thing that I am thinking about is developing like just thematic associations for the different quarts that are more like artistic than actually like realistic, where the words would come from. And that is going to be a part of that process. So it's not going to be necessarily totally naturalistic. Okay. The way I coinize. But I am going to read a couple of things about coinization to get an idea of how it works naturally to inform myself on that. Va où, va feu, va fou, va j'ai cru. Va où, va fou, va j'ai cru, va feu. This is something I need to think about. Va feu. That seems a little difficult. Versus va ja va ga va ga va ga va où va fou va j'ai cru va j'ai cru waouh wa fou waouh ja wa fou ga. But I think, yeah, that's where I'm going to stop with nouns. And I'm going to leave it there because I don't necessarily, I didn't find a reason to mess with the classes. I will probably go in and do some stuff with the possessive classifiers, but that may be something that's on the lexical level that I put off to later. I think next time I'm going to start figuring out some things about verb paradigms. And I'm going to also sort of do all of my example words up in the 4 dialects and see what kinds of patterns I have. And that's going to like inform how I approach things. One thing I will say is like when I'm not going to make every word in every one of these languages, every one of these dialects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the coinization stuff. I'm going to figure out the thematic associations. And when I make the koine, I'm going to decide what source makes sense for which word as we go and put it through the sound changes of that. So that's going to be something to deal with. But it is almost time, and I think I need to drop soon. Thank you all for watching. Next week I'm going to I'm going to be studying how my verbs work to see how that shakes out. And until then, happy conlanging.